All right, what we're going to do today is we are going to work on making a little heart box. So it will have a top and a bottom to it. And in class, they are going to be getting some paper that will be labeled top and bottom, all right? And so one's a little bit bigger than the other, and they're going to focus on the top piece today to start to get their designs in. And I will show them some examples that I found online, but we really want to fill in. You can see I've started to draw a little bit on my top piece, but what we're really trying to do is get a lot of designs in that area. So it could be something like this, little Zentangles. They started from the middle. Those things kind of went out, and they came up with different patterns. We're going to want those patterns to kind of spill over into the side edges of our box. It doesn't have to be something that's symmetrical from the center. These are kind of random placed patches that they put in some nice designs. You got about 10, 15 designs in there. Anything that's black in these areas, we want to leave alone. It's just going to be a simple line drawing today that we'll add color to later. If you didn't want to do just a bunch of different random patterns, you wanted to keep it a little bit more balanced. Here's a nice design. They kind of started here, kind of went from the center out, and then they kind of just kept going until it filled the space. Or something that's a little bit more symmetrical. You've got something like this. Again, anything that's black in these pictures, we want to make sure that's just an outline so that we can add some nice color later. So lots and lots of detail on the cover, all right, the top piece. And if you are struggling to, maybe you don't want to, because this is a good piece of cardstock, that you don't want to ruin it, taking your sketchbook and putting the picture underneath it, you can start to see the lines of where the shape is at. So you can give yourself a little rough copy here. And then you can start like I was doing before. I started to design where I wanted some shapes, and I think I want to go with more of a balanced theme. And so what's on one side is going to be the same on the other side, and go from there. What's also nice about this is I can put this back on top and work from there. If I have a thinner piece of paper, if I've got my cardstock, it's not going to show up. So I will have to redraw this stuff back in here. But at least I'll have my idea down, and I don't have to keep erasing on my good cardstock piece. All right. So for you guys at home, if you do have access to a printer and it's just printer paper, it will still work. The box will be a little flimsier, but it will still, the idea will still work. They'll still be there. And like I said, right now we are just working on getting our designs in, okay, and taking time with that. We do want to make sure that our design spills over into the sides here. So these edges here and here, with it being the top piece, should be very detailed all the way through. All right, these little tabs that we have, that's where we're going to put glue or tape next week when we go to put things together. So you don't have to do any designing on that per se. We just want to get the sides and then our heart to be as filled as possible. We don't want any large, wide, open, white areas. All right. Now for the back, all right, we've got the bottom piece. So really you're only going to see when it's closed, you're only going to see the bottom of the heart. All right. So I'd like a simple design. It doesn't have to be as ornate, but you can put it wherever you want, as much as you want, I guess. Putting your name and the year on there is always nice. When people get it, they can always look at it and say, oh, this was made by so-and-so at this time. You don't have to do the sides. Maybe we'll add some color there, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a design. It can be. It's nice when they're separated. You can kind of look at both. They kind of have a nice detail to them when they go back together. And then this will make a nice gift. So this week, just the flat paper is what we're doing. We're not going to cut it out yet until next week when we start to put it together. Focus is on the design. As far as color, if you have cardstock and you printed it on cardstock, crayon, colored pencil, marker, Sharpie, all that stuff will work nicely. If you've got the printer paper, I wouldn't necessarily do marker unless you've got something underneath it because it will go through. All right? Or you can do a combination of all those medias and put them together. All right? So enjoy. You guys that are at home, I've got the examples and the PDF file. I'll be sending, Ms. Jaffe will be sending that soon. And so check that out. And then if you don't have access to a printer, then I would try to draw a nice heart design and try to come up with a nice elaborate design. Maybe make it a little bit bigger if it's going to be a drawing, and then you can get pretty elaborate, and then adding the color in, and then we can go from there. All right, so give it a shot. Email me if you got questions. We'll talk to you guys soon.